I tell myself, and I hope I don't regret it, because I feel like, yeah, we work ourselves into the ground. At the end of the day, I'm looking at my daughter and I'm like, it's for her. I hope that I don't regret that there are times maybe I could have spent more time with her. Maybe I wouldn't have been as tired or something like that. But all I think about is just like, I want to be able to say yes in the future to whatever it is that she needs or wants, right? I want to be able to say yes. And if I can say yes in the future when it really matters for her, it's like, I know that these sacrifices right now, these things that I missed out on would have been worth it.
And what I mean by noise is like you're gonna get family members or even friends that maybe they're jealous or they don't want you to do better than them and block it out. Like they're gonna tell you, oh, you can't do that. You gotta be spending time with your partner. You gotta be spending time with your kids. It's like, yes, you do, but you also need to focus on yourself. Like, I feel like, don't get me wrong, I feel like as a female, you shouldn't rely 100% on like a man. I feel like you should have your own independence, and it should go both ways. Like a man needs to have like their own like independence as well too, because that's gonna make you stronger. That's what's gonna teach your kids. My mom and dad can do it. Like they were working, they did this, they did that, and they still pulled through.
What do you think were some of the sacrifices that you made? Was it worth it?
I would say like some of the sacrifice would be like taking time, like, you're spending time away from your kids. I feel like that was the biggest sacrifice. It definitely was worth it.
Welcome to another episode of the Stigler Show podcast. And in today's episode, I'm bringing on board one of our top producers on the mortgage side of the business. And I'm actually very excited to interview her because I don't think we've ever had like any kind of extended conversations before in the past. So I'm going to get to know her pretty well today, and hopefully you guys will get to know her pretty well today as well. So without further ado, I want to introduce Vanessa Espinoza. Congratulations, Vanessa. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Okay, Vanessa, so let's start from the beginning. What were you doing before you even got into the business in real estate?
So when I got licensed for real estate, I actually was working for a law firm. I was a paralegal for them. I had worked for them for like 10 years. Mm-hmm. And then I just decided to get licensed.
Just out of the blue?
No, actually. So part of the type of attorney or the type of law that I worked at was probate law. So I got to see like all their accountings, and I saw how much like the real estate agents made off of like selling our clients' houses. And I was like, dang, this is pretty good money. Like, I can do this. So then I took the course, I passed it, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do real estate. I'm going to jump in. And that's pretty much just how it got started.
So you basically saw the money in the business.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Well, we know what drives Vanessa. Got it. All right. So that was, what year was that?
2017.
2017. You got licensed in 2017, roughly, right around there. Okay, cool. Because then what year did you start with us?
It was 2020. It was during COVID. 2020.
So in those 3 years, so you got started during COVID. Mm-hmm. All right, so in those 3 years leading up to when you came on board with us, and that was a COVID year, like, how was your business? Can you tell us a little bit about the experience in the business? How are you juggling? Because I'm guessing you were still working. Right?
I was still working full time.
Got it. So and you were juggling, and you were doing the business as well. Full
time. So I feel like this is a part where my journey is a little bit different because I didn't like really host open houses. Like my first transaction, my first deal was my best friend.
Got it.
That was my best friend. I got her into our house, and then we posted it on social media. And then one of her friends, who also had submitted an offer on that house, we outbidded. So then he contacted me. He's like, I want you to be my agent. And then it was like a trickling effect where that's how I just started getting clients. It was just more referral based. So then it was just one after another.
So you were kind of just talking to people that you already met or you already knew, and they might refer you to some other customers or some other potential clients, basically.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of my friends too, they already knew that I was like in the legal field, so I already knew like, I guess like the paperwork, like how to be organized, how to like take care of things. So I feel like that's what made them trust me more, where they're like, oh yeah, Vanessa will take care of it. And then from that, it literally was referral based.
Just 100% referral based.
100% referral. Like clients would refer me their family members, their friends, and then that's just.
A lot of people, I feel that's a very challenging thing for them to do right off the bat, right? Because referrals usually, I think, come later on in your career after you've worked with a bunch of people, and then of course you have past clients and things like that. But you actually were able to get some referrals almost right off the bat.
Yeah, and it honestly kept me super busy, but I feel like what my biggest struggle was just like, oh my gosh, I'm working full time and I literally have to work as if I'm doing real estate full time. So that was like the hardest part for me. I didn't struggle with the referral part. I struggled with like, okay, finding a balance with work and then doing real estate.
What do you feel was unique about your situation that allowed you to get referrals almost right from the very beginning?
I would say maybe because I always focus on like giving my clients like a great experience. Like from the moment I would meet with them to like inspections to closing, like I always had a closing gift for them. I would always trip out when they would tell me like, oh, my friend's agent didn't get me a gift or didn't get them a gift or they didn't do anything special.
Well, I know that you can do that, but like in terms of like meeting somebody initially, like how would you get them? Like where did they come from?
They would just come, honestly. Like I know that sounds bad, but they would just contact me like on social media or just message me like, hey, this person referred me. I'm not happy with my agent. Can you help me?
Got it. So you had a social media presence as well.
Social media, or they would like just reach out to me like on my cell phone.
On your cell phone, just was your number hanging out in different
places?
No,
it wasn't hanging out. It wasn't.
I was just trying to figure out how people found you and stuff like that.
So
initially.
It literally was like a domino effect. Like one client, I closed on their house. They saw we closed, and then it's like this person knows this person. They're looking for a house, and then oh, my aunt's looking for a house. Oh, we want to sell our house. Like it literally was like a domino effect.
Was it a lot of friends and family?
It was a lot of friends and family.
So you had a lot of friends and family.
Friends and family, family of friends too. Like that's pretty much what it was at first.
See, that's kind of unique because usually, at least my experience, is that friends and family don't want to work with you up front in the beginning because they know you. Like if you're, if you were working at like UPS, let's say, they know you as the UPS person. They don't really see you as a real estate professional or somebody that they would want to share their finances with because they know you work at UPS. You're a driver or you pick up boxes and stuff like that, right?
I don't think I had that issue because I worked. My first job was in and out. Then I went straight to go working at a law firm. I'm wondering if maybe
that's what kind of set it a little bit different, maybe because you already had a well-respected position, I guess, if you were working in a law firm. I'm just trying to see what was different because normally in the past, like I've always noticed that, like let's say you worked at McDonald's or if you worked at the grocery store and all of a sudden now you're an agent, like your friends and family aren't like ready to like, oh, sure, yeah, you can help me buy my $800,000 house, my most expensive thing I've ever bought in my life, and I'm going to trust the guy that works at UPS.
I feel that's more if they see like your lifestyle. If they see that you're out drinking every weekend, they're not going to really trust you.
Okay.
If they see you out like being irresponsible with your money, they're not going to trust you.
Right.
So I feel it's not so much like where you work at. I think it's how you carry yourself or how you like juggle your life. Because if your life is a hot mess, they're not going to trust you with their stuff.
Maybe that's why nobody called me in the beginning. I don't know. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what I was. I mean, I was 24 when I started, so maybe my life was a hot mess. Maybe, maybe that's why people weren't calling. Because I noticed that about myself. I was a 24-year-old kid.
Oh, so you were young.
Yeah, and I was renting cars for Enterprise Rent-A-Car. And so... yeah, I'm going to trust the kid renting cars with my real estate purchase. Like, yeah.
I'm going to handle my finances.
Yeah, friends and family were not calling me up, at least me. So that's why I was really curious to hear your side of the story on that end, because that really wasn't my experience. So I usually tell everybody, like, yeah, don't even bother with friends and family. They're not going to.
And I'm always like, no, start there. Like, those are going to be like your cheerleaders. Like, those are going to be your
different
people.
Experiences. That's why we're doing this, because this is totally different experiences, right? Yeah, don't always listen to me. Exactly. Okay, cool. So then you were in the business for about 3 years before you were somehow introduced to our company. Is there anything unique about that made you want to join our company around that time?
I honestly don't remember what made me get into like lending. Or you know what? Actually, I do now. I actually now remember. So when I did real estate, we worked with different lenders, and I just remember I didn't feel like my clients were getting that experience that I wanted them to get with the lender that I was using. So then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go for my lender's license.
Was it Kevin?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, okay, just checking. I'm just curious.
It wasn't anyone at the company.
You met us through Kevin, right?
I knew Kevin because Kevin and I started doing real estate together.
We're going to start some problems right now.
Not the drama. No, Kevin and I actually started real estate together.
Okay.
So we started together. I've known Kevin, but no, Kevin wasn't my lender. But yeah, I just wanted my clients to have like that same experience that I give them on the real estate side. I wanted it on the lending side.
Got it.
And I knew, I was like, well, I feel like I have more control of the transaction if I do the lending side and I do the real estate side. And then that's what made me go into lending.
So how'd you hear about us?
Through Kevin.
Through Kevin. Okay.
That was through Kevin.
Was Kevin working on his loan license right around the time that you joined? Was he starting to learn?
He was already licensed.
He was already licensed.
I think he was already licensed for like a year, maybe 6 months.
Okay, so he's kind of new to the business himself. All right, and then he introduced you as you wanted to get into on the lending side of it. Were you guys at the same company before?
Yes.
Okay, you guys came from the same company.
Yeah, we're traumatized.
They're traumatized together. We won't mention any names. Okay. Actually, you answered one of the questions. What inspired you to even consider real estate and mortgages? Okay, got it. And at this time, you were still working full time.
I was working full time up until 2020. I think it was like August or something when I quit. And I was forced to quit. Like, well, I mean, I wouldn't say forced. It was one of those things that I honestly don't think I would have taken that leap at that moment if I wasn't pushed into like that corner.
Okay, so when you came over to us, you started learning how to do loans, right? You were still working full time.
When I came to Stigler, no. I had just quit, like literally a month before.
So real estate was going really good
already
for you, and you just decided to quit your job.
Correct, yeah.
Got it. See, I always thought you quit like, I don't know, like 8 months into working with us.
No, like the whole story of even how I quit was like right when I came to you guys and I started, I had already like quit like that month.
Got it.
So
you really just dove into it, but you had momentum with real estate already.
With real estate, honestly, I think like my first year I closed 12 transactions.
Cool.
So I think that's what just drove me to like keep going.
Right.
And then with lending, it was more, like I guess it was, like where I worked at had asked me to either come back to work or put in my 2 weeks or quit pretty much. So at that moment I was like, well, I don't have childcare still for my son, so I have to quit.
So you had a 1-year-old son, I think.
I had Enzo, yeah.
Enzo, that's right.
And because of COVID, the daycares were like completely like on a full wait list, and I couldn't get him in until November. Right. So this was, I think, around August.
Okay, got it. So we have a baby, little 1-year-old, right? Totally new part of the business that you've never done before.
Yeah.
Right? And you just jumped right into it, quit your job, and I'm gonna be a loan officer now.
Yeah, it was scary. Now that I think back, I'm just like, oh shoot.
Okay. Yeah, and some of you guys that don't know, like the loan side of the business does take a lot longer to learn. It's definitely a lot more technical. I consider it more like heart surgery, because there's a whole bunch of little moving parts and it doesn't take much of anything to mess anything up, and then the whole thing falls apart.
Very true.
Right? Okay, so you dove right into it. It's funny because now I'm asking you questions, I'm like, okay, that's totally different than what I thought it was in my head.
Kenny, you don't remember interviewing me in 2020?
No.
You're really getting old.
I am getting old, yeah. No, I don't remember.
I went in.
I don't even remember interviewing you.
Eric and I went in. I remember it was a weekend. It was either Saturday or Sunday, and it was Kevin, you, and then Eric and I. Yeah. And literally, that's when I was like, okay, we're gonna switch over. And that day, like, we switched over, and then that was it.
Okay. Yeah. That's. I have a whole different story. You know that I tell people a totally different story.
Oh my god.
How you came on board.
False advertisement.
Well, oh yeah, I tell them like, oh yeah, Vanessa came on board. She started jumping into the training, and it worked so well with her. She started doing really well. In her first 8 months, she quit her job. That's what I tell everybody. I'm like, because I thought you were still working while you were still learning how to do loans. I didn't know that you had already quit.
I mean, I was still like employed, but I had taken like FMLA time off because of the childcare issue. But then when I went like jumped in and like everything transferred over, that's when I just put in my week's notice.
All right. Well, let's talk about some of the challenges that I think are pretty unique to your experience, right? Having a child, while transitioning into a totally new part of the business, leaving your full-time job, because you've always had a full-time job, pretty much. And now that's going away. And now we're relying 100% on the income that, sometimes could be you get paid and sometimes you don't get paid, right? I mean, technically we're in control of that, but still, it's possible.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that, maybe you can share how that conversation went down at home with your husband, you know, in terms of making that transition.
I feel like Eric has always been supportive, like whatever I do. He's just more like, all right, do it. I felt I was the one that would more overthink it because I'd be like, okay, I make this much. I get paid every 2 weeks. Like I thought too much into it. But then when I really sat down and I was like, man, I just have to close like one deal a month. And I'm like, that's super easy if I really think about it. Like if I really sat down and broke it down and like Eric and I sat down, I was like, look, babe, like this is all I have to do. Like it's honestly pretty easy if you think about it. But I don't know why I was just so scared. I think it was like that security blanket of knowing that I could take time off, I can be sick, and my paycheck is still gonna be there.
Yeah.
So it was like a different type of security. But then it was just more, you know what, like we're gonna do it. Like I wanna spend more time with my kids. Like my priorities changed. I was always tired when I would get home. I would work from like 7:30 to 5. So Enzo would have to wake up at like 6:30 in the morning. I would have to take him, like leave the house, wake him up really early. By the time I'd get home, I'd be so tired. And I think that's just what made me just be like, you know what, forget it, let's just do it.
You know, it's funny because you said something earlier that I said to myself like 21 years ago. It's like, if all I got to do is just focus on closing one deal a month,
Yeah.
and that's going to take care of my problems, right? Like, that's all I got to do is one deal a month. That's all I was focusing on. And I did the math about, because I would do open houses, I think, and you've heard me pitch this all the time. And I tell people, like, this is like the thing you got to do, because it's like, if you just do open houses on the weekends, 5 hours on Saturday, 5 hours on Sunday, it's like, you're going to meet like 10 people every week, 520 people a year if you do it 52 weeks in a row. And so I was like, man, if I met 500 people in a year just doing open houses, I'm like, I got to at least convince 12. There's no way. There's no way that I couldn't convince like one a month out of 500.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I would just do the math. I'm like, okay, I have to do this.
Yeah.
Right. And it's funny because you said that here. I heard you say that. I'm like, one a month. Exactly. That's just the goal. One a month.
And you just break it down.
Oh yeah. And usually it's funny because that sounds like such a small number, but that one a month usually puts you as a top producer in most companies.
Yeah.
Right. That one a month usually gets you to be a top producer in most companies. So you think that everybody should be able to do this.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody should be able to do this. But technically, for those of you guys that don't know, most real estate agents don't sell more than one house every other month, so about 6 a year. And that's after like 5 years in the business.
Yeah.
Right? That supposedly do this full time, not even part time, but supposedly do it full time. That's usually the national average, is one every other month, 6 for the year.
Which still isn't bad, like compared to what I was making. I was like, okay, well, that's still like, I'm still fine with that.
Right.
But my goal was like that one a month.
One a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 a month definitely makes things more feasible. It solves most people's problems.
Yeah.
I like to say. Okay. So Eric was on board with it. Husband, Eric. Hi, Eric. Eric's on board with it. He's like, yep, you go make that money, babe. It's like, I wish I could say that all the time too. Like, I'm like, Garrett, get out there and make some money. So while you were at the office and getting all the training and stuff, like, how did you guys juggle the child care? Because you weren't pregnant yet, right? Because you had another baby coming out later on.
That was in 2022.
That was in 2020. That was 2 years later still.
Yeah. So I had Enzo. I would actually bring him to the office.
That's right. I do remember him coming in.
Yeah. He had in his daycare. I couldn't put him in daycare. Like his spot wouldn't open until November. I remember the date, November 7th. Because to me, it was hard to be at home with Enzo and then juggle full time, like to work and want to like pick up this business.
Right.
I feel like that's where I struggled. But once he started daycare, honestly, I feel like that's where I was like, I have no excuses.
You know what I find so challenging? So like me and Garrett are going through this, you know, we've been going through this, right? It's like, even though we have childcare in the house, right? We have childcare in the house. We work in the business. We still get home, we're exhausted, and we still haven't spent any time with our kid.
I know. Yeah.
And then if we don't, it's like you just feel so guilty because like, we just come home, eat, and we're crashing and going to bed. And then we haven't spent any time with our kid yet.
Yeah.
Right? And, you know, we're missing out on these like really early years and milestones and stuff like that. So we had a lot of guilt over that. And it's so challenging. I try to, you know, we basically try to make up for it on the weekends, like, you know, just spend as much time with her as we could.
Yeah.
Is that something that you guys were working on?
We do that. I feel like I have that mom guilt, but then because my mom owned her business too, I kind of know what it was like. Like I remember when I was younger, it did suck, like your parents missing out on things, but then now as an adult, you appreciate it. So I feel like that's what I tell myself, that maybe, yes, I'm not there every morning to wake up to them because I leave the office early, but I make it a point that when I pick them up from school and I'm picking them up and we go home from 5 to 7, like I block out that time. Like that's just my time with the kids. I focus, we do dinner, we do bath, we do all that. And then the weekends, of course, I spend as much time as I can with them.
So tell us a little bit about your typical day, your typical working day back then.
Back then, when I was working,
yeah,
or when I had
I think your first year when you came on board with us, because you were learning a new part of the business. You had Enzo at home, who was a year and a half old, I think. Right? Like, what was your typical day like?
My typical day, I mean, we would wake up at like 6:30, get him breakfast. I would pack his bags, like his toys, snacks, and everything. And I would bring him to the office with me. I think it was like, I don't remember what days you had trainings, but it was a day that you had trainings. I think it was like 3 days a week or 2 days a week. I would bring him with me, and then around his nap time, I would try to get him to nap in his stroller. But if he didn't, then usually I would just like leave early and just finish my day at home. And then we would just go home and hang out. Like after like 5, I try to make it seem like that was like my routine, like my 8 to 5 or my 7:30 to 5. Like that was my same routine. I try to keep those same hours.
Was there anything different about the training that we had in the office around that time from what you were doing before that you remember?
What do you mean, like?
Yeah, did you pick up any new, like, did you start doing your business like any differently than what you were doing it before at all?
I think with lending, it's completely different from real estate. So I had to learn to switch that, like my phone calls had to be more like intentional with the clients because I didn't have as much FaceTime as I did with like going out to show them houses or spending a full day of showing them houses. So with lending, I had to like learn to just be more intentional, do Zoom, try to see them as much as I can in person. But I think what helped me too was during 2020 was like everyone's refinancing.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually a really unique challenge that loan officers have versus real estate agents, because real estate agents have so much more opportunity to build that relationship with their client. I mean, just going out and showing homes for one day, you're going to be with them 5-6 hours in a row. Like, I mean, they're going to be in your car.
Yeah.
Right. And a lender, most of the time, they only see their lender like once when they get pre-approved, and then you don't see them again until sometimes, until you're just signing loan docs.
Yeah.
So trying to find opportunities for you to connect with them along the way is a challenge, I think, for a lot of loan officers out there. So, okay, fine. Tell us a little bit about the training. I think our training is unique. Tell me your version of it.
It's like a boot camp, Kenny.
It's like a boot.
Like I remember one time, I don't know if it was like the hormones from just having Enzo, but I literally almost wanted to cry. And I was just like,
it wasn't that bad.
It was, but I appreciated it. Like now I appreciate you being so hard on us and like making sure that we understood like those numbers and everything. Because now like I don't ask you anything because it's like, no, I need to figure it out before, like Kenny's gonna be like my last resort. Like the world ended and ChatGPT went down, like the portal's not working, like Kenny's gonna be like my last resort.
It's so funny that you say that because that's exactly what my intention was the whole time. It's like, I want to make it so that you don't want to ask me.
Yeah, it works.
So that you learn how to figure it out on your own, because I know you can. Like,
yeah,
you're smart enough to figure this out on your own. And it's. I guess that was my goal. I went to a military school. Some of you guys already know this. And that was their style of training. It's like, you got a brain on your shoulders, like figure it out. A lot of times, in the military, people usually just wait to be told what to do. And in most people's jobs too, you wait to be told what to do. And here you are in this business, nobody's gonna tell you what to do.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, you gotta figure it out. You gotta figure it out every step of the way, because it's your business.
Yes.
Right? And that's exactly what I wanted to like transfer to everybody that I'm training, is like that type of mindset. And yeah, it's, I guess, Garrett, I was like, oh, you're being too hard. I'm like, babe, this is what I'm trying to do.
No, but you do have to, because in this business, you don't have anyone that's going to be like, this is how you do this. It's more, I have this problem. Can you solve it? That's how clients come to you. Like, here's my situation. Find a solution.
I guess something I did right, because you did really good. I think, okay, so were you a top producer your first year with us already?
Yes.
You were
I think I was like number 4 or something.
Okay, so you were already up there.
Yeah.
Honorable mention, at least.
That's what it was, I think. Yeah.
Honorable mention in your first year.
Yes.
Got it. And then the following year,
I think that was third place,
you
maybe.
got third place.
Yeah, I
The
think
second
third.
year, yeah, I think so too.
I think it slowly went up.
And then last year,
Second. Oh
second
my
place.
gosh.
There's a pattern here. There is a pattern. Fourth place, third place, second place. Watch out, Kevin. First place this
Don't
year?
let him buy a house.
First
so you
place
can't
this
get first place.
It's coming. Your business is definitely taking off to another level,
Yeah.
right? And now we have 2 kids.
Yeah. That's a game changer. Yeah.
We just wanted to make it harder. Yeah, that's exactly why Gara and I don't have any extra kids along the way, because
You should,
it's
though.
already hard enough as it is.
But that's the whole point. Like, you're already struggling. Why not just throw one more in there and call it a day? Like, it's the same thing as loans. You're already dealing with one. Like, might as well just.
You know,
throw
it's
extras
funny,
in
and
there.
everybody tells us, but we do see it. But yeah, whenever she's around her cousins that are like, it's a little bit older than her, we don't have to worry about
You don't hear
anything.
nothing.
They are playing all day long.
Yeah. I mean, they'll fight because they
Yeah.
live together, but it's just like those cute little moments when they hug each other. You're just like, oh, I'm so tired, but it's worth it.
Yeah, I'll see. I'm trying to encourage my wife. Sometimes I do try to encourage her. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God. Because I remember the early years, right? It's like not sleeping and all that stuff. Although, you know, I got more sleep than she did, but
Yeah.
still,
Probably.
you know, it's tough.
Your first one shocks you because you don't know what to expect. Your second one, you're just like, all right, let's do this. Like, I already know I'm not going to sleep, but it's going to get better. So you already know there's like a light at the end of the tunnel. It's just, okay, a couple more months. We got this.
Let's talk about some of the things that you do, you know, in your business on a daily basis, right? It's like, how does that different from when you started out, like maybe 3 years ago with us?
I feel when I first started out, like I didn't have like my schedule down. I felt kind of like all over the place. I didn't have like my routine down as much as I have it now. And I feel like ever since, I would say, I think 2 years ago, that's when I made it a point, like, I'm going to treat this like a job. Like, I'm going to treat it like I'm going to show up every day at the same time, work the same amount of hours, whether I'm sick, whether I'm tired, I'm going to show up.
Oh my God, it's exactly what I tell everybody. It's like, people have zero problems working 40, 50, 60 hours a week all the time, making somebody else rich. They have no problems with it. They show up on time, right? They take their 1 hour breaks on time. They leave at the same time. Like, they're methodical about it because they're being told what to do. The second that you don't have to do it, they barely put in 3-4 hour days.
Yeah.
They start sometime around noon,
That's
finish
crazy.
around 3 or 4 o'clock. And like, they don't take this seriously. They don't take this like it's a real job. And you know, you're finally working for yourself, and then you're not giving it the same attention that you did when you were working for somebody else. It's so crazy that people do that. How many hours a week do you think you spend on your business on a regular?
I feel like for sure, like Monday through Friday, I get to the office like at 7:30 and I leave by like 4:30.
I know my schedule's a little different with Garrett. It's like we usually get there, we're rolling in around 11, but then we won't leave till like 9. Like we're there all day long too.
But see, I'm more of a morning person. Like if you ask me to stay up till like 9 or 10, I'm like, I'm tired. That's hard for me.
Yeah.
But if you ask me to wake up at like 4 in the morning, I'm like, let's do it. So to me, that's what works.
I hate early.
Why?
I went to military school. I remember in military school, he's like, why do we have to get up so early to go for a jog? Why can't we just wait till the sun to come up? I just fucking hate it.
It's too hot by then.
I'm like, why? Why so early? What is the obsession with getting up so early?
Because like everyone's still sleeping. It's so quiet. Like I get so much work done from 7:30 to 9. Like so much work done.
Did you almost get to like 400 your third year?
I did get to 400.
You did get to 400.
Kevin and I were off by freaking $5,000. And the only reason
so that's why I tell everybody. I actually tell them like, yeah, fourth year. She's like over 400,000. I'm like, okay, I wasn't lying about that.
No, yeah, I think it's 4, and then the real estate.
First year in the business with us, at least, or
I've always been like as a lender, like you're the only company I've ever.
Okay, so first year with us, you made well over 6 figures, pretty easy, right? Second year, you doubled it, right? Third year, you also doubled it. It's pretty nuts, right? I mean, a lot of people don't know that. That puts you basically in the top 1% nationally in terms of earnings, right? What do you think makes it so unique for you that you're able to do this? And There's a lot of people out there that struggle with it that never will get that to that level in their career. But what do you think that you're doing so uniquely different that allows you to do that? What is it?
It's honestly nothing like special. It's just like putting in the work every day. Like I trip out. I know this sounds bad saying this, but like when I see people at the gym in the middle of the day, and I'm just like, man, like I just heard you complain about not having like really much business, but then I see you in the gym in the middle of the day. It's like, this is like when you call clients, this is when you like focus on your system. If you don't have clients, you focus on fine tuning your system so that when you have clients, everything just runs smoothly.
You know how many times I've asked people this question, Jay? It's like, well, what makes it so unique for you? What are you doing differently? Or something like that that's allowing you to achieve this level of success. And like every single time, I always hear that it's nothing, nothing special, nothing too difficult or something like that. It's like everybody's waiting to hear like, oh, she's going to talk about the secret. Like, oh my God,
or something.
the secret, right? It's like, do the same boring thing every day.
Yeah, and it's a sacrifice. It really is. Like you miss out on like family outings sometimes. You miss out on like going places, doing things because you're putting like your work first, your business. But you're working really the same amount of time that you did like when you were employed. It's just
the
different.
Same thing happens when you're working 60 hours a week.
Yeah.
The same thing happens. You're away from home, you're tired, you're exhausted. It's just like you're just going nowhere fast because it's not for you.
Yeah.
Right? At least this is yours.
Yes.
Right? And once you had it built up, nobody can take it from you.
And I feel like that's what makes you want to like work even harder. When you know it's yours and you know like, man, I work harder and I can double my income.
Oh, yeah.
I can make so much more if I just work even harder.
Oh, yeah. Everybody, it's so funny. I remember, this is a long time ago, this is 21 years ago when I had a job. I would always look at the clock every 5 minutes, wondering how much time has gone by, right? It's like, oh, what? That was it? Just 5 minutes? Like, nowadays, the day just flies by, and and that's when I'm looking at the time, like, I just put in a 13-hour day.
You wish you had more time.
I'm like, what? It just goes right by. Like, it's totally different when you're doing it for yourself. It's totally different. Obviously, you're willing to put in the time. You're willing to put in the work. It's ridiculous. But yeah, so many times I ask people that question. I just asked them like, oh, like what's the secret? And like I usually hear it's like it's nothing complicated, and that's 99% of the time that's exactly the truth. It's nothing complicated. I always tell everybody that this business is so simple. It's like we're not trying to send people to Mars. That's what Elon Musk is doing. That's never been done before in the history of mankind. Real estate, we just drive people around until they point to a house they like. That's simple, right? It's like do the same simple thing every single day. It's ridiculous where this business can take you in a very short amount of time. If you're willing to do the same simple things over and over again, right?
That's
true. It's not exciting while you're doing it, right?
It actually is.
Oh, for you it is, yeah. Okay.
I feel it is because it's something that like I truly do enjoy.
Okay.
And then also getting paid for it, that makes it even more enjoyable.
So you liked it.
I mean, I like it because I do enjoy, like, I get to connect with families. Like, they're buying a house, like, you're guiding them. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't know, like, where to start. They don't know, like, oh my gosh, I can buy an investment home. So guiding them is, like, I like guiding them and even doing a game plan of getting them ready to buy their home.
I like doing the puzzles. Like, the puzzles are like when I'm putting a loan together, especially one that I think is hard, that somebody else has already turned them down. I always like, oh, it's a challenge for me. I want to see how I can put this one together.
I'm going to solve this one.
I'm going to solve it. And then that's what I like about the business. And of course, for them, it's great because, somebody else telling them no and then me being able to tell them yes, that's my exciting part. But at the end of the day, I just like doing the puzzle. That's my thing. What would you say to somebody that has a super stable job? What would you say to somebody like that is considering getting into this business, but is used to having that stable job, that has a family, that has kids? What would you say to somebody like that?
I would say, like, don't let your family or kids be your excuse. Don't say, like, oh, I can't do this because I have kids. That's your motivation. That should motivate you more.
It shouldn't be the excuse. It should be the motivation.
Yeah, to spend more time with them. Like, if your son's having, like, or your daughter, or whoever, your kids, if they're having a Halloween parade, to be able to just take off for the day and be like, okay, I'll be back later. Or, you know what, today I'm going to work from home. That's like, to me, the best feeling of not having to ask anyone, like, oh, can I leave for an hour to go watch my son parade around the parking lot in his costume? It's like, I don't have to give an explanation. I'm there.
I know. That's one of the things I actually do like. When I work from home too, it's like my babysitter's here the whole time, right? We're just in a different part. But yeah, I could at any point in time, I'm like, okay, I think I'm gonna take a little break and go down and watch her play for a little bit, and then clear my mind or something like that. I think that's, I mean, anything else, any other job, anywhere else that there's no way I could do that.
You can even like sometimes call and check in on them.
That's so true. That's one of the things. That's one of the things I really do enjoy about doing this is, it allows you to like at any point in time, I can just take a break and go talk to her, go see her, go get a hug.
Go have lunch with her.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true. What do you think is the biggest misconception people have about this business?
That it's easy, like that you're gonna make money. Like,
But then we're telling them it's easy.
It's
We're telling
easy.
it's easy. Just do the things over and over
No,
again.
it's easy if you put in the work.
Okay.
But if you don't, you're not gonna make that money. You can't jump in and say, okay, I'm licensed. I'm gonna be making 120 grand a year. Like the clients are just gonna show up. No, you still have to put in the work. You still have to like follow up with your leads. You still have to host your open houses. You still have to treat your clients well. Like you have to put in that work, and it's not gonna happen overnight. It is gonna take like a few weeks, a few months.
I think that's the biggest shocker that people have, right?
Yeah.
They'll go through the courses, right? They'll get their license. They'll take the test and everything. Now they're licensed. All right, I'm licensed.
Where's my check?
Where are my clients?
Yeah.
You went straight to where's my check? Exactly. Like, do I need to show up to the office at a regular time? Like no. It's like the customers aren't here.
Yeah, and you have to go look for them. You have to make them trust you. But I feel like once you have whatever works for you down, whether it's doing open houses, door knocking, whatever works, then it's easy because you found like your system, what works for you.
What do you think is the easiest way for the average person to get into the business? Like if somebody was brand new, what's the first thing you would tell them to go do?
Right now, open houses.
Just open houses.
Open houses. I mean, I would also tell them to reach out to their family and friends, but apparently that's not a good idea.
Hey, that just didn't work for me, okay? That was my situation was like, hey, who's gonna trust a 24-year-old kid that rents cars? That's how I felt, and I was trying to reach out to like my coworkers or anything like that, and I always felt that they didn't want to work with me, right? Or I would help them for a little bit. Next thing I know, they're like working with somebody else. Like, well, they just have more experience, And so that's why it didn't work for me. And it wasn't until years and years later, until they saw that I finally was successful, that they started reaching out to me. But I would never reach out to them. If anything, I would be like, if you know anybody, just, send them my way. But I would never try to get their business. I would always like just to ask them for referrals if they knew anybody, because that's easy for them to do, right?
Like, here, you could screw up on someone else.
Yeah, you can go screw somebody else's deal up, just not mine. But, okay, so Vanessa's tips are open houses.
Open houses, family and friends. If you're working, I mean, your coworkers, they're getting paid. They're getting a paycheck. That's already a good buyer right there, a good lead.
Okay. Well, you already know they got a job.
They have a job. Yeah.
Okay. What do you wish somebody would have told you when you first got started?
I would say use a CRM.
Use a CRM.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to figure that out?
Probably 5 years later.
So what did you do before?
I just on my phone, on my notes or something. And I just trip out now. I just think about it. I'm just like, oh my gosh, what was wrong with you? Why didn't you just put it into a system and stay organized?
Yeah, I don't think I ever used an actual CRM. I had an Excel worksheet. That's about it.
Everyone uses Excel. And I always tell whenever I meet new agents, I tell them, use a CRM. Use it now because it's going to be so much easier to just get in the habit of you get a lead, put it in.
Yeah. I think if you have any system, it's better than no system. As long as you used it. Even if it's something as simple as Excel. That worked for me, and I was doing 10 transactions a month in my heyday, right? And all I did was I had my little Excel worksheet, and I would just put them in there, and I would just put down where they're at, and that's all I did. I never got more complicated than that, for me at least. But then I think that as a result of that, there's other opportunities that I might have missed because I was really bad about the future business, right? Like, because I didn't have a system to follow up consistently. So that was my bad part. I was good at in the immediate moment. So the CRM is important because it lets you capture that lead so that you can continue that relationship years on end. Because especially in this business, most people do refinance, 6 months later, 8 months later, a year later, right? There's lots of opportunities on the lending side. They might buy a house once every 3 to 5 years maybe, but mortgages, you're going to see them much more times, right? And so having a good system to be able to follow up with them is key. I'm glad you figured it out within 5 years.
It took me a while, but I'm glad I did, because now I'm just like, what would I do without this system?
Yeah. Now you have a machine, basically.
Yes.
Now you have a machine.
Like everything goes into that machine. Like every phone call I do, like my notes go in there. What I need to do next, like everything is in there.
Do you remember the moment where this business really clicked for you in your head and you're like, I can do this?
I mean, there's some transactions that I'm just like, oh my gosh, is it worth it? But for the most part, I would feel like, I think maybe like a year ago.
A year ago? After you've already been like top producer, you felt that this clicked for you a year ago?
Where I feel like that's when I had like my system down. I had like everything down where I felt like, okay, cool, like this is easy now for me. Before that, I was still kind of like figuring things out, like, okay, does this CRM work? Does me taking Fridays off, or like, will this work? Like, where I was kind of playing around with different things or different ways of juggling my business, or even with the kids, like, hey, does me dropping them off and then just picking them up later, does that work? But I feel like a year ago is when I really got like a system down where I feel like this works for me. And that's where everything, like once I figured that out, I feel like, okay, the business followed with that too.
Okay, so tell us about this magical CRM that you're using. That's causing all of this success apparently for you.
Well, it's not just a CRM. But honestly, like as soon as I get a lead, I make it a point where like it goes in there. I don't do anything else. Like it goes in there. I do the follow-up, what I need to do on it, my notes. Every phone call that I've had with a client, I always put my notes in there. So I'm able to go back and say, okay, hey, I remember this client had this issue where they wanted their payment to be this number. So I'm able to, when I call them and follow up, it refreshes my memory of like, okay, this is a conversation that I had with them. Because I honestly forget.
You put in notes about like, oh, their dog was sick, or
everything. His mom just passed away. Like follow up in a month, see how like the funeral went. Like everything that's just gonna, like when I call them and I reach out, they're like, man, she remembers that.
It's a relationship business, and the more you can have that connection.
Yes. Or if they're struggling, like, hey, you know what? It's funny because I had one client, and I'll never forget this client. I got her probably like 2 years ago, and when I first got the lead from an agent, she was renting a home and she had lost her home in a fire. So I sent her resources for like different places, like shelters or like different resources that can help her with like money or different things like that. And I remember I still followed up with her like every 3 months, like, hey, how are you doing? Did you guys find a house? Like, did everything get cleared up with the fire? And then finally, out of nowhere, she reaches out to me. She's like, Vanessa, I got a settlement. Like, I'm ready to buy. And this was like 2 years later.
Oh, wow.
I was even kind of shocked. I was like, oh my gosh, really? And we closed.
She remembered you.
She remembered me, but it was a follow-up. Like, when she needed help, it wasn't just like help for real estate or lending. It was just, she just needed help. She needed resources. Like, I provided those resources to her.
You were just being helpful.
Yeah.
And that's huge. And it's huge that it's a system that you have that allows you to do that. Well, it aids. I mean, you're you. That's not going to change. But the system allows you to be more of who you are, basically. How has your spouse impacted your business?
I would say like Eric has always been very supportive of everything I do. And I feel like that helps me be more like adventurous, be more open to trying things, because even though I may be scared or I have like a fear, it's just more like, let's do it. And he's like, all right, let's do it. He doesn't hold me back. I can be like, babe, like, let's go do this. Let's go try this. And he's like, all right. Like he very, like he goes along with like some of my craziness, but then he also reels me back in when I'm very like impulsive and I'm like, oh, I'm just going to do this. And he's like, no, think it through. I'm just like, okay, you're right. So I feel like it's a good balance.
Right.
And that's what I feel like Eric, like he lets me do as much as I want to do, but then he also calms me down when I need to be calmed down.
Yeah. That's really good. I think for me, like, Gara always reminds me that I'm not shit yet.
And you need that.
So she keeps pushing me forward. And it might sound bad. I was like, because she knows what my potential is.
Yeah.
Right. And so she doesn't let me like just rest on my laurels, basically.
Yes.
Like, it's like you haven't hit what I know you're capable of yet. She's gonna just keep going like,
And that's good.
And sometimes I find it annoying, right? Like, oh my gosh. But I understand. I mean, I can look back and I'm like, man, definitely operating completely different, and it's basically her going all the time to me.
Yeah.
It's just one of the things that she does very well. Okay.
And it's like a juggle. Like I feel like you both have to like complement each other. Like you bring out a certain side in Gara, and she brings out a certain side of you.
It's so funny. We were laughing the other day because she just told me like, oh yeah, I just ran this meeting. I remember when I first met her, and there's a video on Instagram. Oh my gosh, when you're talking to her one-on-one, she has no problems talking. Yeah, she talks for the both of us, right? I'm usually the quieter one. Now you stick her in front of a group of people, and or on camera, and she totally shuts down. Right, and there's actually a video on Instagram where we're recording, and she doesn't say
that
a
video.
single word. But just the other day, she got, I was busy talking to somebody else, and she ran the entire meeting, with different speakers and stuff like that, and she was in the front organizing and introducing everybody, like, not a problem, right? So, yeah, because I used to bug her about that all the time. We pushed each other. We've really pushed each other, and sometimes it creates tension, and it creates, arguments and stuff like that. And then out of that is where all the growth comes there too, right? If you never challenge each other, there's no growth.
Yeah.
Absolutely zero growth, and you guys stay the same way. And
you don't go anywhere.
Do you feel like your husband challenges you?
He does. And I feel like I challenge him too, where I'm sure I get on his nerves, but at the end of the day, he's like, you're right. Like, thank you for that. And I'm the same way where it's like, man, like, yeah, I was annoyed that you told me I was wrong about something, but now that I think about it, you're right.
Were there any moments in your career, as you're growing in this business, that you thought maybe this wasn't going to work?
I feel like when I first started, I kind of questioned if I was doing the right thing, because it was a change to go from real estate to lending, where it's like now the transaction relies on you. Like, it's on you to close this. Like, if you mess this up, you're messing it up for so many other people. Right. So I feel like that was one of them. And then also when I had Natalia, when I had my second baby, that's when I really felt like, oh my gosh, did I like take on too much? Like, am I doing the right thing? That's when I feel like I was like, oh, but then just days went by and I was like, all right, I'm tired, but we're going to do this.
Was it too much?
It probably was, but I feel like one thing that helped me was blocking out. Like, as soon as I would leave the office, like, I would just block that on. I would switch my hat to like mom mode. Right. So it's like, I wouldn't let, like, if I had a bad day at the office, like, I wouldn't let that like trickle down or go like home. Like, I would just like kids, like they don't need to see like me frustrated or anything. So I feel that maybe that's like, that helped me get through that stage or through that frustration or through that hard part. Looking back at it, like, if somebody would have told you that you were going to be doing all these things, would you have thought it was possible? I'd have been like, yeah, right. Like, even now to this day, there's times that I'm just like, wow, like, how are we able to juggle so much? And it's like, Eric and I don't really have like such a great support system. Like, it's just us and then daycare. And we have, like the few people we can rely on. But for the most part, I feel like that's the part that for us was like, oh man, like, we're taking on a lot. This is kind of similar. What were some of the biggest fears or doubts you had when you first started? I feel like my fear was for sure, like, am I going to be able to meet my goal of closing one deal a month? Like, that was always the fear, like, of leaving something that was steady, that was guaranteed, to like, am I going to be able to juggle like running this business full time and doing this on my own? Like, that, I feel like that was the part where I questioned if I was able to do it. But then once I did like 1 or 2 and 3, and then I was like, okay, I can do it. Like, I thought I would be fine closing 1 deal. Like, now my goal is like, I want to close 2 deals. I want to close 3 deals a month. Like, you set new goals that are going to challenge you, that are going to push you. Because now, like, that 1 deal a month, I'm just like, 1 deal a month, that's a shitty year for me. Like, when you think about it, like, but before that was my goal. What do you do now? I don't even, like, probably like 4 or 5. What's the most that you've done in a month? I think maybe like 7.
Yeah.
7, yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. 7, exactly.
7, and it's just like it's doable. But we're like, before, if you would have told me, oh, you're gonna be closing 7 deals, like if I look back and someone would have told me, this is what you're gonna be doing, and this is how much you're gonna be making, this is how much you're gonna be closing, and I'm like, yeah, maybe in like 10 years, 15 years. But like seeing now, it's like, wow, like it's doable. That's where you're just like, if I can do this, and yes, I'm working hard, but imagine if I work even harder now next year.
Yeah.
Like you can even make even more.
It's amazing what can happen in a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
With consistency. It's amazing. What do you think were some of the sacrifices that you made? Was it worth it?
Some of the sacrifice would be like taking time, like, you know, you're spending time away from your kids. I feel like that was the biggest sacrifice. It definitely was worth it because, well, that like the first year where I would have to bring Enzo to the office, he would always like deal with mommy working. Even now, like they make comments like my little Natalia, she'll sit in front of her little like play, like it's like a little play piano. She's like, mommy, look, I'm working. I'm just like, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing because maybe that's what she always sees me doing. Or when like Enzo tells me like, mom, you're on your phone again, like you have to do a phone call. It hurts you, but then it's like, you know what? Like this is what pays for you to have the things. This is what pays for the vacations. And they understand that. Like Enzo understands that now where he's like, mommy has to work. She has to go out on the weekend. She has to do this because I want to go on vacation. I want to do this. It's not free. You have to sacrifice in order to get like nice things in life.
Yeah.
And I feel they see that. So all those sacrifices make it worth it.
Yeah. I mean, I tell myself, you know, that, and I hope I don't regret it, you know, because I feel like, yeah, we work ourselves into the ground.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I'm looking at my daughter and I'm like, it's for her, right? And I hope that I don't regret that there are times maybe I could have spent more time with her and maybe I wouldn't have been as tired or something like that. But all I think about is just like, I want to be able to say yes in the future to whatever it is that she needs or wants, right? I want to be able to say yes. And if I can say yes in the future when it really matters for her, it's like, I know that these sacrifices right now, these things that I missed out on would have been worth it. At least that's how I'm processing it in my head. We shall see, right? Obviously, I won't know how I feel like about it in the future, but fingers crossed.
She will, because like I said, like my mom ran her business, so my mom missed out on a lot of things with me. And back then, I would be so sad because I would see like everyone else's parents like in the audience. But then now I'm just like, you appreciate it as a parent. You're
Mm-hmm.
just like, man, like thank you for making those sacrifices for me.
And it's funny because like sometimes we tell ourselves like the reason we do this is so that we can be more present for our kids.
Yeah.
But then we're working so hard that sometimes we're
Yes.
still not. And then we tell ourselves, okay, it's so I can say yes to you when you want your college, and you want this, or when you want that. I want to be able to give you the things I didn't have. These are some of the other things, right? So fingers crossed. I think, you know, doing the right thing. It's the best I think we can do. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, you know. I
You
guess.
find what works for you, like for you guys, like you said, spending weekends with her. Like you make it a point that weekends, like she has your undivided attention. And I feel like it's a balance. You're never gonna be like an amazing parent, amazing business. Like you're gonna slack off somewhere, either your home life, your work life. Like somebody's gonna slack off a little, but it's just like every day is different. One day you may be like dad of the year, and then the next year you'll be like an amazing business owner. You just take it every day.
One day at a time. Yes. It's the ongoing challenge, right?
It literally is.
It never ends. It never ends. Like Latin culture, it's like the man does the man stuff and the woman does the woman. That's like traditional Latin culture. Like they're like very much like that too.
Uh-huh.
Very much like everybody's got their roles, right? But like me and Gara are like not like that all the time, I guess. Well, there's this and that. Like you're always so macho, and I'm like, yeah, she'll say that to me sometimes, but.
I feel like our generation has changed. Like Eric and I did everything backwards. Like we bought our house first, then we had kids, then we got engaged. We literally did everything backwards. But it works for us.
The funny thing is that's actually the smart way of doing it.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, like that's a smart way to do it, because usually people start off with like, all right, let's get married, and the first thing they do is like have this huge wedding, and they
Yes.
walk into like debt.
Yeah.
And now they don't have, now they can't buy anything for like years,
Yes.
trying to recover from however much money they spent on the wedding.
Yes.
Right. And of course, this causes other tensions and
And
stuff
on
like
top
that.
of like student loans, like it's just, yeah, we did it opposite, completely opposite.
Hey, it's working out pretty damn good, I think.
Yeah.
So how did being a mom and a wife influence your approach into building your business?
I feel with me it was a little different because I had Enzo, so Enzo, that's all he's known is like mom like running her business. He didn't know, he didn't really like, he was too young to understand like switching from being a like employee to a business owner. So I feel like that always influenced me to just want to spend more time with him, to want to spend more time with my partner. What helps me too is that Eric does real estate. So sometimes like our date days would be like, let's go show this client house and then let's go eat because we're foodies.
So your dates was showing.
Yeah, I mean like, well, because like when you have
That's
kids.
how you know you're married to somebody in real estate. Like you go on dates where you have to show houses and then we go to dinner, right?
But it's hard because like when you have kids, it's like, okay, we have a babysitter. Great, let's take advantage. We have a babysitter. Like we're gonna go show houses and then let's go eat. Because we're foodies, like we love food. So that to us, like honestly, like it was a perfect little balance.
Yeah, Gary and I are foodies too.
And see, it's like you get the best of both worlds. Like you go meet with your client, you work a little, and then you get to enjoy time together.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is actually quite nice, actually, sometimes too. So in your first year, you made, at least first year with us at least, right? So in your first year with us, you made 6 figures. How'd you do that?
Like on the lending side? Or
Sure.
I literally did the same thing that I did when I first started real estate. Like I just focused on treating like my clients really good, giving them like really great customer service, being like one call away, whatever questions they had, like I try to make it a point that I was a resource.
Right.
Like if they had an escrow question, I wanted them to come to me and then I get the answer for them instead of just being like, oh, go to escrow and ask them. Like, I think that was just pretty much, I did the same thing, literally.
How'd you get the customers?
They just came, I swear, like.
They just came out of nowhere.
This is what I feel like is so hard for me to not, I wouldn't say like relate to people, but like to like talk to new agents about, where it's like put yourself out there. If people see that you have your shit together, if people see that you're not out there partying, you're not out there getting drunk, like that's who you're gonna like attract. I was
about to say that. I was like, you sound like you're just employing the whole law of attraction. Like these guys are just coming to you.
Yeah, like if you hang around with people that are always getting drunk, that are always partying, like that's what you're gonna attract. So those are gonna be like your type of clients, which there's nothing wrong with partying, but like if you're also surrounded yourself with clients that are working, that are like spending time with their family, that are, I don't know, working out in the gym or doing things that they enjoy on the weekend that are gonna help them become better, like that's what you're going to attract. So I feel like maybe that's what it is more like, if you have your life together, like you're going to attract people that have their life together.
Totally agree. I just wanted to hear you say that.
No.
Sometimes I remember like sometimes I felt that I just got lucky. Like,
yeah.
Like, how did I get that client? It's like, oh, I just got lucky. Like just my phone rang. Yeah. Like out of the blue. I'm like, and sometimes I'm wondering like, how did I get this guy? I'm like, I don't even know how I would have gotten him. It just happened. But no, I agree with that to some extent too. It's like sometimes I would just be like, just the right place at the right time. It just seemed like that. But then again, you're putting yourself in the right place at the right time lots of times.
Yes. And every stage is different. Like I'm sure when I was young, being around people that maybe went out a little bit more, like that was different than versus now. Like now I notice like the agents I work with, they're all like, they have families. So we're able to relate to each other. I understand, hey, you're not available between the same hours that I'm not because you're either making dinner, you're getting kids ready for bed, or on weekends you have them in sports. Like we understand each other. Clients also understand each other, where it's like, hey, I get it. You get off of work, I'll be available. You want to jump on a call at 9 p.m.? Let's do it. So it's just like, those are like the type of clients you're going to attract.
Well, let's talk about your second year. So what changed in your approach in your second year that pretty much allowed you to double your money?
I felt the first year I focused more, like it was refi boom. So then I focused more on directly like working with my clients. The second year is when I focused more on working with agents. And I feel like that's when my business, I feel like took off even more. Because now it wasn't just me like looking for the clients or them coming or anything. It was just more like, hey, like treat this agent really good, treat their clients really good. And every agent or every client that they have, they're going to bring them to you.
Right.
And I feel like that's where it really went off even more.
So I know other lenders, because I mentioned this to people, oh, you should work with agents. And a lot of lenders are like, oh, I tried that. You know, I don't like working with agents. I don't like kissing their butt, or I don't like, I mean, I don't know. They have a negative attitude towards it, right? It's like, what makes you so successful working with other agents that maybe other loan officers are not doing it or not able to do it? What is it that about what you're doing that allows you to become successful doing it that way?
I feel it's definitely not having the mentality that you have to like kiss their butt, because that's not true. You don't have to kiss their butt. I feel just providing like really good service, being available to like if they have questions or if they have a client that needs pre-approved, like you're on it, like being on your stuff. Like they know that they can trust you. They know, like, I know if I give Vanessa a deal and she gives me a pre-approval, it's gonna close. I know that if Vanessa's asking for all these extra documentation, is because she's gonna need it to make sure that we close. And I feel like that, like once you have that trust, like other agents talk, you'll be surprised. I've had agents that like,
They
I'm
talk.
like, wait, you're from up north? I'm like, wait. And then you have to like piece the puzzle. You're like, you were the listing agent for this transaction, but you work in the same company with this person. You like piece it together and you're like, man, like word got around pretty fast. Or even with like escrow companies too.
Oh yeah. If you, I tell people this all the time, like to the LOs that I'm training, I probably said this to you. It's like, you only get one shot with realtors, right? You only get one shot with realtors, especially if they're newer and they only close like 6 deals a year. It's like, if you mess up one of those transactions, like they're never going to talk to you again.
Because it's so, that one transaction is super important to them.
Oh yeah. It means a lot. Besides the fact that you probably lost that client for them.
Yes.
Right? That's like a huge hit to their income, you know, that you didn't close a deal that you should have closed, you know. And then they tell everybody about it.
Yes.
Right? They'll tell everybody. And then next thing you know, you got to go find your own customers if you're a loan officer. So, yes. I think that's why our training is so intense, because I want you to be perfect at it. You got to be perfect because you only get one shot at this. Okay, so let's talk about your third year. You hit 400 grand that year, third year in the business. Number 2 top producer.
About like $5,000
for the year, right? What was the biggest mindset shift or strategy in your third year over the first and second year that got you to that level?
I feel the second year is that big. I remember when I came in third place that previous year, I was like, I'm gonna go harder. Like this is the year that I'm really gonna like go hard. And I thought I was going hard before, but this year I was just like, no, I have to go harder. That's when I started saying I'm gonna be the first one in the office. And doing that, I feel like that those extra 2 hours that I had was when I focused on like my system, getting my system down. Like, all right, cool. I have my system down on how to like get my agents and like keep them. Now I want to get a system down so when they send me a bunch of deals, like nothing slips through the cracks. Everything's just like get the deal, follow up, like, okay, I followed up, they're ready to go, like respond back. That's where I focus on like my system, and then also like I'm here at this time without fail. I need to leave the house by this time.
It sounds like, you know, the fact that you have somebody else that you're gunning for, right? Or gunning for that top spot, kind of like really like, okay, what do I gotta do to get there, right? And it forces you kind of stretch your limits or your idea of what you thought was possible, it seems like. Can you talk a little bit about that? You know, how the environment in the office might have contributed?
I feel like I'm a competitive person, like where I want to always be better than what I was before. Like even now, like now I keep track of my numbers and I'm like, I'm at this number right now. I need to ask Kenny where I was at around this time last year to make sure I'm hitting my goal. Like I'm very competitive in that way. And I feel like I love that about our office, that, you know, we're competitive and we talk a little bit of shit to each other, but it's in like in a caring way. Like I'll joke with Kevin, like, oh, it was rigged. Or I'll be like, the only reason you won is because you bought a house. Like we'll joke around, or he'll joke around with me like, oh, I took first and second place. Like you just took mine. It's like we'll joke around, but it's in a friendly way where it pushes you. But at the same time too, I don't let it get to me where I remind myself like, hey, Kevin and I are like two different people. Like he's single, he doesn't have kids, like he's able to put in more hours. So I don't let that get to me, because sometimes that can get to you of like, man, like I have kids, I have this, like I can't do as much as Kevin can. But it's like, no, I can do as much. It's just different, in a different way.
I like that. I like that. Healthy competition.
It's a healthy competition.
Healthy competition.
And it's good to have that.
It drives you.
It pushes you.
It drives you, and and it reminds you. It's like, you know what? They're not any different than me. I could do more, right? If they can do it, I can do it.
Yes.
Right. I always look at it that way. Like, well, if they're doing it, I know there's a way I could do it too, right? And that I would always, think in those terms, and in my circle of influence and friends and stuff like that, it's like, I look up some of the guys that I hang out with and stuff like that, and where they got to it, I'm like, okay, I can do it too. Right. And the way that I'm building my business, what Garrett and I are building our business is the same way. It's like, okay, we see them doing it. We can do it too. We can make it happen. Oh, they have kids too. We can still do it, and we use that kind of as motivation as well. And
you'll be surprised, because I'm sure like you probably don't realize it, but you motivate other people too, like that have kids, because it's so easy to compare yourself. Like even as new agents, where you see like, even new agents, if they see myself or if they see Kevin, it's easy to just be like, well, why can't I be like them? It's like, well, you can. Like everyone has their own struggles. If you're working part-time and you're doing this, like you have a different struggle. We all have been there. Yeah, I agree. Everybody has a struggle to overcome. What was the biggest investment, right? This could be money, time, energy, right? That you made that had the highest return? Daycare. Yeah. It's amazing how far that goes. It really does. Like I feel like it truly is an investment, because like to make money, you have to spend money. And I saw it as more not even in buying leads, like no, not buying money, but like, I mean, not buying leads. It's more like I can make more money instead of spending a full day cleaning the house. Like I can pay someone to clean it, or like, hey, you know what? Like as much as I would love to be hands-on and teach my kids, like I have to let that go, and I'd rather pay a daycare and have them do that so I can focus on my business. And it's truly an investment. Like it's pricey, but it's worth it. Yeah, no, I think that's kind of like the goal for like Garrett and myself too. It's like as we keep coming up, basically, it's like we just keep buying more of our time back, basically, right? It's like whether it's daycare, whether it's cooking, whether it's housekeeping, car washes, anything that's basically like, okay, I shouldn't be doing that. Yes. Right? Buying your time back, so it allows you to do more. It allows you to be more productive, because that's where the value is. Like our time is very expensive, right? Our time is very valuable. And these other things that we spend time on, it's like you just pay somebody else to do it for you. Yeah. Right? And it's funny, because Garrett reminds me, like, you shouldn't be doing that. She reminds me, like, you shouldn't be doing that. Yeah. Right? And she's always got me focused on, like, okay, how do we get this? How do we get somebody else to do this? Right? I think that's huge. That's a huge investment right there. How do you define success now? And has that changed over the years? I would say it has. Like when I look back at like my previous vision boards, I feel when I first started like doing lending, it was more materialistic. Like the Rolls Royce, like a nice big house, like it was more materialistic. And I feel like as the years went by, it was more about like time, like spending time with kids, like, like vacations 2 to 3 times a year, like your health, like your mental health too. Like that's where I feel like I want more of, like, that's my goal. It's not like the material things. Like, yeah, it's nice, but it's not like, that's not everything. I think that's true too for me too. Garrett and I, we talk about these things, and it's like, yeah, before it was those materialistic things, right? And once you've had a taste of it, you're like, it's like cringy now. Right? I don't have to have these things. There's other more important. They're nice to have. It's great. But yeah, I think the same way as he's like, okay, I imagine myself being able to take these amazing vacations, just spending more time with the family, and building something that allows you to do that, basically. Yes. Right? That allows you to do that. That is, to me, what success is having the time to be able to do these things with your family, but doing it at a very high level, basically. What's one piece of advice you'd give to a working parent trying to break into this business? I feel to block out the noise. And what I mean by noise is like you're gonna get family members or even friends that maybe they're jealous or they don't want you to do better than them, and block it out. Like they're going to tell you, oh, you can't do that. You got to be spending time with your partner. You got to be spending time with your kids. It's like, yes, you do, but you also need to focus on yourself. Like, I feel like, don't get me wrong, I feel like as a female, you shouldn't rely 100% on like a man. I feel like you should have your own independence, and it should go both ways. Like a man needs to have like their own like independence as well too, because that's going to make you stronger. That's what's going to teach your kids like, oh man, like my mom and dad can do it. Like they were working, they did this, they did that, and they still pulled through. Because that's, kids mimic you. Like kids, like I could tell Enzo all day, like clean up your room. But if he sees me leaving every morning with my bed undone, he's going to do what I'm doing, not what I'm telling him.
Right.
So I feel like you're teaching your kids that block out the noise, because you're going to need to learn how to block out the noise when you're an adult. You're going to get a lot of people that maybe just don't want to see you succeed, and you just have to block it out.
Misery likes company.
Yes.
Misery likes company. Yeah, and it's funny because if you talk to people who are more successful with you, if you pay attention, like they never discourage you from doing anything.
Yeah.
It's quite the opposite.
Yeah.
It's quite the opposite. You talk to other successful people, see people that are much more successful than you. They all think it's easy and you can do it too.
Yeah.
They all, because they've already done it. So from their point of view, it's like, oh yeah, it's easy, you can do it. Like, doesn't matter what your situation is. They all believe you can do it too.
Yeah.
Like that's their outlook on things. It's amazing what happens when you talk to people like that, right? It's the complete opposite.
They're more, I feel like that positivity is like, it's contagious. You need that. You need someone that's going to cheer you on. You need someone that's like, who's going to like tell you to go for it. Like whatever your dreams are, whatever your goals are, like go for it. There's nothing too big that you can't achieve. It's just a matter of how hard are you willing to work for it.
Yeah. I remember when there was 3 or 4 people in the company, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't even imagine having 100 agents.
That's
like
crazy.
I thought that was, if that would be so nice if we had 100, right? And then Gara came on board and she's like, yeah, we're gonna have 1,000 agents.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, what? And in my head, that's not something that I was even thinking in my head. And she actually helped me see that.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I know exactly how many people we're onboarding all the time. I can tell you exactly how many months it's going to take to get there at this point now. Like, I totally see it. Whereas before, it's like, 100 seemed like, oh, like that would be so nice if we get there one day. It's amazing what happens when you have somebody else that's even thinking bigger than you thought possible.
Yes. And then you would just hear her have interviews like back to back to back. Like,
that's all we do all day long.
Yeah. And you're just like, wow, like if you really think about it, like, dude, she's interviewing like probably like 5-10 people a day. And you're just like, okay, this is for sure doable.
Oh yeah. Before I just wouldn't see it.
Yeah.
It's night and day difference. And now it's funny because now we're getting to a point, it's like, that's what I talked to you about. I was like, I could teach this to somebody else now. I'm like, hey Vanessa, have you thought about having your own office? Because now we're like, I could teach this to somebody else.
Yeah.
Right? Because now we're doing it.
Yeah.
Right?
Now you guys know what works for you.
Yeah, exactly. Any non-negotiables that keep you grounded and performing at a high level?
I feel like blocking out that 5 to 7 time every day.
Like in the morning or in the evening?
No, and like in the evening.
In the evening.
Like that's my time where like I make it a point, like though I'll be flexible if it's like a loan doc signing or an appointment and only the client's available. I'll do that once in a while, but I don't open up my schedule 5 to 7 to just.
Do you draw a line where you're like, I don't
Yeah.
answer anything past this number, past this time?
My clients and my agents know, like literally from 5 to 7, if I don't respond, is because I'm either making dinner, I'm giving the kids a bath, or like I'm busy with them. Eric and I work opposite schedules. So like Eric covers the morning shift with the kids, and then I cover the evening shift. So I make it a point 5 to 7 is like I'm focused on them. But then they know like 7:30 or 8, I'll respond back to them. And I've never had, honestly, every client, every agent understands that.
I try to have that.
It's hard at first, but like I put my phone, like I don't even look at it. Like I put it somewhere where I'm not looking. And then with 2 kids, like you don't even have time to look at your phone. Like, so I make it a point, like that's my time with my kids where I'm able to disconnect. And I personally don't like taking calls when I have kids at home. It stresses me out. Like they're loud, and I don't know, for some reason, whenever I take a call and the clients, the kids are in the car,
they go crazy.
They go crazy
over nothing.
Crazier. They go crazy. Like they scream, they cry, and I'm just like, mute these kids.
Yeah, they know you're not paying attention to
Yes.
them 100%. They're like, what?
Yeah.
And they go crazy, for sure.
Yeah.
Madison does that to us all the time.
And you're just like, you were fine.
Okay, so tell us what's next. Like, how do you plan on growing in the next 1 or 2 years?
I feel like the next step, which is something that you motivated me to do, was to like build more of a team, like a real estate and a mortgage team. Like that was my goal this year, was to become a broker. We just got the whole DBA for the mortgage side. So now our next goal is to teach and train other like LOs and other agents how to do the same thing.
That's awesome.
So I feel like that's the goal for 2026.
Building a team.
Mm-hmm.
If you could go back and give your rookie self a pep talk, what would you say?
I would say, honestly, I don't feel like there's anything that I would do a pep talk, because I feel like everything that I did every year, like it helped me learn and grow. So I feel like maybe just like enjoy like the ride, enjoy like the struggles, enjoy like the learning and everything, because it's going to help make you like stronger. It's going to help you become a better person. Like it's part of the journey. It really is.
I would have told myself, just stop chasing girls.
Oh, see that? I mean, you're a guy, that's different.
If I would have done that, I would have been more focused. I mean,
Yeah.
for sure. You know, that was a distraction for me, I think. I would have been so much more focused on what I needed to do.
But then it's good because you got that out of your system. So
I
like when
guess.
Gara came along, it was like you guys were like meant for each other at the perfect time. So it's kind of like you needed that to get it out of your system.
I guess. It's definitely out of my system.
See, now you're like a dad.
What would be your message to anybody, watching right now who feels stuck or scared but wants more?
I would say don't be scared. I know it's easier said than done, but don't be scared, because if you're willing to put in the time and the work, it's going to work out. Like there's no reason for you to fail. It's scary, but everything that you do that's new is scary.
Everything amazing is on the other side of fear. I think
Yeah.
it goes something like that I've heard before.
Yeah, and you have to
Right.
do things out of your comfort zone, like things that you're not used to. It's going to like test you, but you're just going to be like, wow, it was worth it.
Fear is usually what keeps people stuck where they're at, unfortunately. And then once you get past it, you realize really wasn't anything to be scared about most of the time.
Yeah.
Most of the time when it comes to this kind of stuff.
But I
Most
think
of
it's
the
like you hear a lot of things like social media, TVs. If you're always watching TV, you're going to I don't know, it's just like the life that you live. Like if you're always watching what's on social media, hearing people talk negatively about the economy, about the market's going to crash, like you're going to be scared. You're not going to want to take that leap. But you have to just tune it out and just take the leap.
Well, thank you so much, Vanessa, for taking the time out of your very busy day to come chat with us and to share your experiences with everybody. Would it be okay if people reached out to you and maybe had more questions or anything like that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, okay. We'll put your information up here. But guys, thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Stigler Show. See you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.